Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. In this video, we're going to be discussing what Rubeus Hagrid would see in the Mirror of Erised. The Mirror of Erised is a magical mirror that shows us the deepest, most desperate desires of our hearts. This is reflected in the mirror's name, no pun intended, as Erised flipped around reads as desire. The mirror itself was made sometime before the end of the 19th century and is located in the Room of Requirement in Hogwarts. But despite the existence of the mirror and the emphasis placed on it in the first novel, it strangely never really revealed what many of the main characters would see in the mirror. We know Harry sees his parents, Ron sees himself as head boy, and Dumbledore claims to see socks, though I suspect this to be untrue even at this stage of his life. But what about other characters? What about Hagrid? I've got a few theories for what Hogwarts' lovable gamekeeper would see, so let's dive into it. Hagrid was born Rubeus Hagrid in the year 1928 to his father, Mr. Hagrid, and his giantess mother, Fridwulfa. Hagrid gets his immense size from his mother's side, as Hagrid's father was just a regular-sized man. His mother left him and his father while he was still quite young, returning to the giant colony from which she came. This left Hagrid's father to raise him alone. My dad was broken-hearted when she went, tiny little bloke my dad was. By the time I was 6, I could lift him up and put him on top of the dresser if he annoyed me. Used to make him laugh. Very little is known about Hagrid's formative years, or parents, but his father certainly raised him well, as in spite of his giant size, Hagrid was a caring, attentive softie who cared immensely for those that were close to him. Like other children, Hagrid began attending Hogwarts in the year 1940, before being sorted into Gryffindor House. Hagrid was a promising young wizard, but did have a habit of getting into trouble which almost always stemmed or pertained to magical creatures in some way. However, what would become Hagrid's biggest mistake was acquiring a new and dangerous pet, an acromantula by the name of Aragog. Hagrid's issues began to arise when students started to become mysteriously petrified on a consistent basis. At the time, no one knew what was happening or why it was happening, but it's later uncovered that it was in fact Tom Riddle who had opened up the Chamber of Secrets and released the fabled basilisk within. Naturally, the school vehemently tried to uncover the culprit for the petrifications, and Hagrid was eventually framed by Riddle, explaining that they were the actions of his pet Aragog. Hagrid never got much of a chance to defend himself, and was promptly expelled. This also meant that his wand was snapped, and he was barred from magic. School didn't turn out exactly how Hagrid had wanted. However, he was allowed to work as gamekeeper and live on the school grounds at the request of Albus Dumbledore. But despite Hagrid's troubled start, he never let his mood waver and grew into an outstanding man with impeccable morals and a positive outlook on life. However, I am of the impression that one of Hagrid's biggest regrets was never graduating from Hogwarts, and this is going to be the basis of my theory with regards to what he would actually see in the mirror. I think that if Hagrid were to look into the mirror, he would see himself graduating from Hogwarts with his proud father, Mr. Hagrid, by his side. Hagrid's father tragically died while Hagrid was in his second year and still a student. He died with the knowledge that Hagrid was pursuing top-notch magical education, and he was proud of him for it. The only thing that Hagrid was thankful for was that his dad never lived to see him get expelled. I think Hagrid being able to properly graduate alongside his peers, with his father watching on, would be the cherry on top of his life. On that note, it's entirely possible that graduating was never a big deal to him, and he would have preferred that his father lived to see him become a proper professor at school instead, which he eventually became. That's my first theory. But an alternate theory that I have is that Hagrid's life would be more or less the same. I think that if Hagrid looked into the mirror, he would see all of those that were close to him huddled around. They'd be in his cottage on the Hogwarts grounds, though it would be slightly bigger to accommodate everyone, and they'd be sitting around the fire, sharing a laugh. Hagrid was first and foremost a people person, and those that he cared about were the most important elements of his life. And that's it for this video. What do you think Hagrid would see in the Mirror of Erised? Let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, here's the last outro of this year. You're Wizard Harry.